After a 900-kilometer journey to the starting point, today we begin our trip to the Arctic Circle. Early in the morning, 9 of our members' cars assemble at the rendezvous point, prepared as well as they could for the long journey ahead.
After wishing each other good luck, we crossed the border into Denmark and continued our way to Sweden, headed for Ålesund. After crossing the famous bridge, we admired this amazing feat of engineering over some lunch. Then we checked our fluids before we set off into Sweden.
When leaving the main roads, the conditions quickly turned slippery. Our route brought us through rural towns and past a 16th century castle. The tricky conditions had severely slowed our progress, so we returned to the main roads in order to reach our stay in time.
After relaxing at our stay and playing in the fresh Swedish snow, we departed for the second leg of our trip. The snow was loose and it got stuck to the cars, so we had to do several stops to clean the snow from the wheels. Thankfully, there were snacks to keep the energy up. On our route, we saw the forest get denser and denser, until we arrived at our second stop in Meulder.
In the morning, the low temperatures made starting difficult and reminded us that we were getting closer and closer to the Arctic Circle. At some point, our navigation told us to cross a lake, but there wasn't a single sign of a bridge. Luckily, in this part of Sweden, lakes freeze over with a meter of ice.
After crossing the ice highway, we still had a long 5 hours to go to our next stop towards the Arctic Circle. But with darkness closing in and the temperature dropping to negative 20 degrees, disaster struck.
Volvo, stop op links. We komen toch achter de Porsche staan. Dat lijkt makkelijker.
The front left brake of the Subaru had completely seized, and after trying everything to get it loose, The drivers of the Subaru had no choice but to stay behind and hope to catch us the next day. While we continued on, into the night.
The next day, as the temperature rose again, the Subaru team discovered that their car could not be fixed and they had to continue in a rental car.
After some more driving and some fooling around in the snow, we finally made it to our goal. We had reached the Arctic Circle.
When we crossed the Norwegian border and the temperature hit -26 degrees, the landscape was magical. On this beautiful section of quiet road, we had some time to reflect on the journey that led us to this point. The reflection was short-lived, as we had another 3,000 kilometers ahead of us.
This long stretch took us along the beautiful fjords of Norway. In the end, the remaining 8 cars got through the journey well, having fun along the way and without any major incidents. The roads took us back into the dense forests of Sweden, and finally, all the way home.